Good morning. It is difficult to explain what day it is for my hike, but it is Sunday, May 5th right now. So the last time you probably saw me was having a miserable time in the rain at Chattahoochee Gap. I finished out that day. It was pouring so much. I didn't film. I left the trail. I didn't film here. This is Neil's Gap where I am right now, Mountains Crossing. You can see it back there. But I got a picture of the failure tree. That's the one with all the boots behind me. My heel and my knee are feeling much better. I got fresh resupplies, got fresh water, just got dropped off. It's a little before 9 a.m. I'm waiting for Mountains Crossing to open so I can try and get a ground sheet in there. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm on hiking day 5. That is the number of days I have physically actually been hiking. So from here on out, that's how I'm gonna count my hiking. This is day 5, even though it's technically about 3 weeks after I started. 4 weeks? 3 weeks, either way. So I'm at Mountain Crossing. The only major climb today is right off the bat, climbing up the Bull Gap, either way. And then it's a lot of downhill. I'm probably not going to stop at Whitley Gap Shelter, which is about 8 miles away. I'm going to try and make it 11 miles to Low Gap Shelter, just because Whitley Gap Shelter is like a full mile off the trail. So that's a lot of hiking to get to a shelter when I could just go 3 more miles and get to a different shelter. So that being said, it just stopped raining. It's supposed to be nice the next couple of days, so hopefully I can make good mileage. Until then, take care. This is one of the 3 Appalachian Trail plaques that are located in Georgia. The first one is obviously on Springer Mountain. This one's at Neil Gap. And there's another one about 20 miles north of here, which hopefully I remember to film. Still day 5. I finished the climb up over past Bull Gap and then down the other side. Oh my god, the downs are killers. It's just so bad for your knees. But it was extremely foggy, which was really cool to hike through, but a bit chilly. I started hiking this morning about 9:15. I got to watch probably a dozen or so people head out from the Neil Gap hostel. So I've seen some people on the trail, and then I get to climb Wildcat Mountain, which is 500 feet over half a mile. And I mean, that's pretty equivalent to the steepest things I've climbed so far. Going up Sassafras, going up to Preaching Rock on Big Cedar, stuff like that. It's freaking nice out. Wolf Laurel Top, and I've got my head in the clouds. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I have been hiking real slow today because I don't want to exhaust myself. I just came up out of Chattahoochee Gap up Wildcat Mountain. It is a 500-foot vertical over half a mile, so 100 feet every 10th of a mile. I don't want to make an understatement. It is the hardest physical thing I have done in my life to this point. That'll probably change the further down the trail I get. Probably the funniest part was about maybe 50 yards back, there's a false summit with a really nice view. So I'm like, oh good, I'm done. And then you round the corner and there's another switchback. The regular summit, which is where I am now, is actually kind of a crappy view. It's blocked off by a bunch of trees. Like, it's a nice view that I can see through, but you can't really see, it's not very open. It's the end of day 5, my first day back out on the trail. I wanted to make it to Low Gap, but that hike up Wildcat drained me so much. I made it down to Hogpen Gap, crossed the street, hiked maybe 200 feet in, and there was just a big campsite to the right. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna camp here. So right now I'm the only tent at this site. I just made my dinner. It's steeping right now. It is 6 o'clock. Good Lord. I'm exhausted, but that was a really fulfilling day. Tons of great views. I'm sure there'll only be more. So hopefully a good night's sleep. And I'm gonna try and aim for, I think it's Blue Mountain Shelter tomorrow. It should be about 11-ish, 12-ish miles. So with that note, have a good night. It's day 6, still at Hogpen Gap. I'm all packed up and ready to go. Camped with a few people here last night. Ended up being about 5 of us, a couple and then 2 older gentlemen who've actually hiked the trail before and are just hiking for fun. I'm gonna try and make it to Blue Mountain Shelter today. That's 12 miles. But the good thing about today, there are no major ascents. I think the largest one is about 200 feet. So none of that wildcat nonsense from yesterday. We'll see how I do today. Peace out. Just took an hour-and-a-half long lunch at Low Gap Shelter. A little longer than I planned, but it was a really nice shelter, and the water source was like 30 feet in front of it, which was great. It's just short of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've passed a surprising amount of southbounders, either flip-flopping or just doing section hikes. Shout out to Yesterday, Thumper, and Fix It, who are finishing their through from last year, which I guess still counts as a through depending on when they started, now that I think about it. So good for them. Actually, they should probably be finishing up today. Passed a couple who are on Warren Doyle's slack packing trip that you can do. If you are unfamiliar with who Warren Doyle is, feel free to look him up. Kind of an AT trail legend. He's hiked the entire trail, I think it's 18 times, through hiking it 13, and compiling 5 additional section hikes. That's a lot of hikes. There shouldn't be any more big climbs today. I'm about to pass through a section that has creeks and water and streams everywhere, so I'm not that worried about water either. But it's definitely got a lot rockier though. Like you can probably hear my other pole whacking down there a lot. But there's lots of rocks. Feeling good. Dried out my shirt during the hour-and-a-half long lunch. Starting to sweat through it again, you know, as I do. See you there. End of day 6. I didn't quite make it to Blue Mountain. My feet have been killing me. So I pulled up short at a place called Chattahoochee Gap. I don't know why I'm wearing a hat anymore, the sun's going down. I'm kind of on the turnoff from the road. So you can see my tent behind all the tree back there. And up behind me is actually where the trail is. So I came down. There's one other person here camping sort of in the main thoroughfare, but there's a crossroads where one goes up to another trail, one goes down to another off trail, and then one's the actual Appalachian trail. So getting ready to make dinner. Gonna be having spaghetti with meat sauce. Yay. It's not supposed to rain at all tonight like it did last night. It's supposed to be really nice. So tomorrow, I don't know what my objective is going to be, because I'm 4 miles from Unicoi Gap, and once I get to Unicoi Gap, then I have to go up that ridiculous mountain, which will then follow up with the various Tray Mountains, which are all kind of equivalent to Wildcat, which I already hiked. So I expect tomorrow to be a very short day. Pretty easy getting down to Unicoi, but pretty uphill afterwards. we'll see how we do. We'll see. So, day 6 come to a close.